Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a drill. This is not a drill whatsoever. James Cook is officially at practice. You do not believe me? I'll go on ahead and I'll just whip this up for you. All right, let's go on ahead and take a look real fast. Let me get my screen situation here. Bear with me here, folks. Bang, 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 bang. James Cook is in the building, folks. Now, look, ironically enough, this morning when I was kind of tapping into Sean McDermott's press conference, I was a bit skeptical because, of course, we ultimately ended up hearing that he was expected to play. Basically the same horse and pony show that we heard last year, where he ultimately said, yes, if you are healthy, I expect him to be out there and participating. And all the signs were there. We saw during preseason week 1, he was fully suited up. He was participating in 11-on-11 drills, and he elected not to play for the game by itself. But folks, like, here he is. Like, let's celebrate in the comments section, whether or not that anybody would like to admit it or not. I can tell you this much. I feel like this Buffalo Bills team is a hell of a lot better when James Cook is on the team. All right. And I got to tell you what, I am so thrilled with this news update. Celebrate right in the live chat, folks. Hit that thumbs up sign. It appears that the James Cook hold-in is all but over. Welcome to another edition of the Don Mafia Report, folks. My name is Dan Mitchell. I am live twice a day on this channel, giving you all of the breaking news surrounding our favorite football team, along with many other storylines across the NFL. If you are new here, welcome. I really am a nosy person, and I want to understand where you are located. All right, folks, how far does Bills Mafia truly extend? What corner of the continental United States, what corner of the globe are you tapping in from? Do not be shy in the comment section. Sound off and let me know where you're tuning in from. Roll call time for the Buffalo Bills. James Cook, you are ready to go. We have Bills Mafia Madness coming in with a question to begin the show here. And do you think this is because a contract is signed, or do you think he saw Ty Johnson and Ray play and was like, shit, I need to get there? I feel like we'll never know. And just because he's practicing does not mean that we might see him take some valuable reps on Sunday against the Chicago Bears. I feel like we're not going to know until week 1. But then again, right, his salary is completely tied in to playing football for his game checks, right? So theoretically, all he needs to play is 6 games for a full season to accrue, and then he would be able to make all of that $5 million. So I suppose there's a couple of different ways of looking at it. One, it sounds like they are so close to the finish line for James Cook and his new contract that he said, okay, let me suit up. And really all they're doing is just waiting to dot the I's and cross the T's. Or maybe he completely shifted his overall mentality and he is ready to play football. Like, what we can see already, folks, is not just all this. We have Cook, man, right here. And by the way, shout out to all the beat reporters that are hooking us up right here. Sal Capaccio has a video of James, man. Like, this is not a hold-in, right? Like, he's clearly doing some individual drills. I suppose we'll see if he decides to do any sort of 11-on-11s. Here's yet another video here from Thad Brown. Shout out to Thad Brown. It looks like him and Josh Allen, of course, are bleeding each other on the field. So, I mean, guys, look, no matter how you feel about this entire situation, I think that we can all agree that this is certainly an encouraging sign. So shout out, guys. Listen, as you are coming in, please let me know where you were tuning in from. I'm always curious to see how far Bills Mafia truly extends. We heard from Sean McDermott a bit earlier this morning, and of course, we heard the theme of James Cook, but there are also some interesting tidbits that I would like to discuss with all of you. This is yet another normal stream on the Dan Mitchell channel, folks. Yes, the Garage Beer Hotline will be open here in just a bit, and I will go on ahead and start taking callers momentarily. There's got to be a deal being announced soon. There has to be. Like, Ramey, like, I feel like that's the only thing that makes sense. I really feel that way, because why would he be risking himself out on the practice field if his number one priority is getting paid for some sort of longevity within the NFL, I don't know. Now, maybe he doesn't go through with 7-on-7s and 11-on-11s. Perhaps that's his way. Maybe he's just easing his way back into overall production. I'm not sure, but I'm getting to a point where I would not be shocked in the slightest if, for example, we hear some Schefter updates here in a little bit. Zach Hiller, if you are watching, my boy, break the news to me, dude. Break the news to me. I feel like you and I have a really good rapport, right? Like, I've had you on the show. Just break the news to Dan Mitchell, all right? Throw a dog a bone, for the love of God. Okay, we have Brooklyn is in the building. Guys, roll call in the chat. Do not be shy. We have Brooklyn in the building. What is going on? South Carolina is in the building. Josh Edward, what's going on, man? Connecticut is in the building. Uranus is in the building. Damn, man. Dude, I was wondering why I was all itchy this morning. I'm just kidding. I wanted to see Cook get paid. He is an instrumental part of this offense and works so hard. Pay the man. Repping Bills Mafia from Knoxville, Tennessee. Boris, what's going on, man? I hope all is well. Birmingham, Alabama is in the building. Marcus Bills, I hope you are enjoying your morning, my friend. Go Bills from Kansas. Wilmington, North Carolina. Washington is in the building. Syracuse, New York is in the building. On again and off again. It's ridiculous and a huge distraction. So I got to tell you what, Daniel, tonight I feel like we're going to get a good look behind the scenes of what exactly transpired on episode 2 of Hard Knocks. Maybe it's not as serious as we thought, or maybe it's a hell of a lot more serious than we thought. I cannot wait to see exactly how Hard Knocks covers this. Morning, Dan, lurking at work at Blue Chip Transportation. Go Bills, Syracuse, New York. Jeffrey, hey, man, listen, shout out to my work lurkers, okay? There are several of you who just like to put me on during their work days so that they can remain updated for the morning, and then maybe I could actually end up helping out, pass the day along a bit quicker. Shout out to the work lurkers. Shout out to everybody that's live in the chat, hanging out with us. Las Vegas Go Chiefs is in the building. From the fourth dimension, James Bozeman is in the building. Guys, do not be shy, man. Listen, I am not seeing enough roll calls in the building. Sound off and let me know your thoughts. I think he wants to know, and the Bills are good, and he is done listening to his brother trying to get him in Dallas. Besides Minnesota, go Buffalo. How you doing? He's not lying. He's not trying to get fined too. Absolutely. It is about time. When's the roundtable? The AFC's roundtable is Wednesday evenings at 6 p.m. EST. And you'll be able to actually lock in on Fourth and Forever. We have a show called Fourth and Forever, which is a daily NFL news show. That's at 1:30 p.m. EST each and every single day. So I look forward to tapping in with you guys there. Good morning, Dan. I am witching from Bergen, New York. What is going on, Alexander? Hope all is well. Charlotte, North Carolina is in the building. On break from Ohio. Goose Creek, South Carolina. Talk to me, man. I love to see it. Waterbury, Connecticut. Painted Post, New York. Granby, Connecticut is in the building. Buffalo, New York. Saratoga, Alabama is in the building. Knoxville, Tennessee. Thanks, Dan. No problem, man. No problem. I appreciate you guys for tapping in with me. Sup, Dan? And do you know my cousin Kendall Mursky? I am not familiar. I'm not familiar. Where would I have met your cousin? That is the question. So Nevada back after a few days. Hope your move went well. Thank you so much, Jax. I appreciate you. It did. I would just pass along some advice. Make sure you never buy furniture that needs to be assembled. That was the biggest pain in the ass of my move, but I am so glad that it's all set up. Cook really showed his value in that Chiefs playoff game when he stretched for that touchdown where no one else would be able to do anything. Pritchard, Alabama is in the building. Bay Area, California in the building. Will Josh play Sunday night? So I'm so glad that you brought that up because I'm sure we're all excited that Sean McDermott and James Cook are at practice, right? But we did hear from Coach this morning, Nancy, and he has been unwilling to commit whether or not that starters will get any sort of playing action on Sunday evening. If I had to go off of trends for the past couple of preseasons, I'm going to assume we're not going to see Josh Allen until perhaps one single drive in the third preseason game. I would be happy, of course, if we could get our first taste of QB1. But I kind of think that when it comes into certain players that need these practice reps, I think Josh Allen's probably the lowest on the list. I'm totally confident that he's going to go out there on week 1 and play at the level that we expect him to. So I'm not counting on it, but who knows? Who knows? What the hell was this, Glenn? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell was this, Glenn? Oh my God. I can't even read that out loud right now. Lurking at work from South Buffalo, Tesla. St. Louis is in the building. Go Bills. De Niro, what's going on, man? Listen, man, 232 of you in here right now, 145 on YouTube. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up sign. It's the easiest way to show love over here. I consolidate each and every single piece of information that comes out of the Buffalo Bills camp every single day, all season long. If, for example, you rock with that and you enjoy it, just do me a favor and hit that thumbs up sign. Let's bring this live chat community and take it to the next level for the 2025 season. Bills Mafia Madness, bro. How is that new Traeger? I got certain stuff I won't make on game day due to bad luck. We'll never make pulled chicken on game day again, thanks to the 13 seconds game. I love the Traeger. I made some burgers on Saturday for some family, and they did turn out very good. I'm going to experiment with a brisket this weekend. That's a very expensive mistake. Say that I do it incorrectly, but luckily the Traeger is very user-friendly, especially with my Wi-Fi thermometer that I also invested in. So I will keep you up to date. I'm probably going to give you guys an inside look of like what I do with that Traeger while I end up like breaking down a game or something, or maybe even during my pregame stream. Maybe I'll have it from my patio while I'm smoking some meats this year. But damn, man, listen, it is definitely top 5 of my most favorite possessions that I have right now. And do you like Virginia Tech Hokie football? Jack's unknown. So I got to tell you what, my friend, I am an SEC guy and I am a Georgia Bulldogs fan. I'm not a big Virginia Tech fan, and so I don't hate them, right? I'm really just a college football guy at the end of the day, which is a great segue because I got to tell you what, guys, we actually just ended up launching a college football show on the Roundtable Sports Network. So I kind of want to send you guys over there to check it out because we just started the show. It's been about 2 weeks. We've had 2 episodes on said channel. And I got to tell you what, man, I really think that if you guys are a college football fan, you have to go check this out. Link is in the description. Where we break down everything that happens during college ball. So say, for example, that you're into draft prospects next year at any point, or you just love following college football, I highly recommend that you go subscribe to this channel and tap in with Jay Tuck and I, who are live all the time. And then obviously we have the Bills Roundtable, in which that I am very excited to be a part of. It's myself, Z-Bot, same thing with Bills Bunker, and same thing with my boy Kevin Masari, who are live Mondays and Thursdays at 5 p.m. EST. Do me a favor, guys. Go show a little bit of love. Subscribe to both of those channels. You do not want to miss out on either of those pieces of content. We are going to be dead set on keeping you entertained all season long, man. Big Daddy D, Mr. Carreras is work lurking in Connecticut. What's going on, my friend? Hope all is well. What was the take on the first preseason game in Buffalo? We have Alexander Davis. So for me, when it comes into preseason games, I'm not so much particularly looking at the final score or how the team plays collectively, because really all the preseason is individual assignments and individual performances, in which is what I look for. So I had a couple of standouts. I was very encouraged with TJ Sanders. I thought that he won the day. I thought that Deion Walker looked very, very good. I thought Shavers looked really, really good. He's doing whatever he can to make this roster. It just matters on whether or not that Buffalo can find a place for him on special teams. I mean, who else stood out to me that was solid? Maybe Mike White. And so I did like his performance. But I have a feeling we're going to get some more answers on week 2 against Chicago. But with all in all, I suppose that I was pretty good with several of these. What's good, Dan? Let's go Buffalo Bills. Then I think we should go get Sanders for backup quarterback when the Browns cut him. I don't think that Sanders wants to be a backup. I do feel like that he wants to be a starter. And I don't think Cleveland's going to cut him, especially after that first. If it's not, had to have 46.8 completion percentage rate against Baltimore like Josh usually does. We have Glenn, who once again is cherry picking a bunch of statistics from a bunch of different games. Glenn, what is your record against teams above 500? What is the Miami Dolphins record against teams above 500? Why are you cherry picking? One game where he has 46.8 completion percentage. How about that one game where Buffalo was down like 24-0 a couple of years ago? We came back and we won. It was one specific game. Like the fact that you have to cherry pick bad performances. Me, I can't cherry pick bad performances from the Miami Dolphins, Glenn, because there's so much subject material. It's impossible for me to focus in on one game because anytime that I see your poverty franchise go up against any team at all that is remotely good, I could literally pick any game. I could literally pick any damn game. It's so annoying, bro. It's so annoying how you just cherry pick these one or two games because that's all you have. That's all you have. Meanwhile, just brace for another ass whooping. Don't you dare come into our shows trying to spread propaganda that Miami has a chance. Just accept it. Bow down to the owners of the AFC East. And hopefully when Josh Allen retires in about 8 to 9 years, maybe you'll have a shot. Maybe you'll have a shot. So, good God, man. Bills Mafia Madness. One bit of advice. Do not rush that brisket. Can't rush barbecue. I know, man. That's what I'm talking about. Colleen, I just seen that Sean McDermott is making a statement about James Cook. So, if that's happening, you know nothing is going on with the contract. So, he just ended up meeting with the media, and he said that there were conversations that had been had. It sounds like they must be encouraging. I don't know what it means. Whether or not that it means that the contract is indeed signed, whether or not that he just completely shifted his strategy and he's accepted the fact that Buffalo's not going to pay him and he just wants to go out there and sort of treat this year as his like showcase or something along those lines. Like that's kind of where it's at. I mean, he's out there, though. Here's the proof in the pudding right here. He's out practicing, and I think all of us can be happy about that. We have James Cook is back at Bills practice after a 4-day hold-in. Have Cook and Buffalo agreed to terms? What do we know? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's certainly encouraging here. I am certainly encouraging here. Mike Green, it's 0. What is the cutoff by the NFL? Let me see. I am work lurking in the delivery van in Springville, New York. Ramey, will Landon Jackson improve the next game? I'm still a firm believer in Deion Walker's ability to be a starter sooner rather than later. Hope he can keep up the level of play he showed on Saturday. Look, he's got the size profile. Some of his technique, I think, needs some further development. Worst case scenario, he's going to be somebody I think that we could squeeze in about 20 to 30% rate of the snaps in rotation to Daquan Jones this year. But then when Larry Ogunjobi comes back from suspension, same thing with Michael Hoyt. If Deion Walker shows any sign of rookie mistakes, I have a feeling that he's going to fall like right on said depth chart. But me too, my friend. I am actually very optimistic with the player. And then we'll see what's going on. We will see what is going on. Working here in Lakeville, Pennsylvania. Go Buffalo Joe. Raleigh, North Carolina. Bay. Look at that. Brett, Raleigh, North Carolina, man. Welcome to the show. I appreciate that. Miami will probably be third because of the Jets. Big Daddy D. No cherry picking. It's against regulations, man. We have Michael Hall in the building. I like Tua, but his team isn't going anywhere. I think his best years are behind him. McDaniels, too. Absolutely. Keep us updated on the brisket, bro. You need to invite us over to the new house for some barbecue. Oh, man. Listen, dude, you want me to have a subscriber party over at the crib? Is what you're saying? I don't know. Maybe. Dan, when you watch college football this year, check out defensive tackle Xavier Harris from Ole Miss. He is about the same size as Deion Walker, and I think he would be a good backup for Deion Walker. I'm going to have to, man. Listen, I'm a big SEC guy, so I will be locked in all day. What do you want to see the most in the new episode tonight? So I got to tell you what, man. The number one thing I'm going to be taking a look at is all of the behind the scenes conversation and perhaps even the interviews from James Cook. I have a funny feeling that we're kind of expecting the worst as far as how he's handling the situation, at least regarding his behavior. I kind of have a feeling that like we're going to almost show a sign of empathy to him. Like once we end up watching the episode, I don't think he's being arrogant about it. I feel like a lot of those rumors are just sort of made on the internet because quite frankly, like we haven't heard anything from him. Like he's not handling this the exact same way that Stephon Diggs did. So a few years ago, right? Like he's very quiet. He's very reserved about it. And I feel like all of these like labels being like, oh my God, he's being a diva, he's being a cancer right to the locker room. I haven't seen any cold hard proof from him. Like he's not ghost tweeting and stuff like that. Like he's not like hitting podcasts and talking shit about the Buffalo Bills organization. Something like that. So I'm not particularly, I'd say, concerned about it, but that is indeed me. The Don Mafia barbecue would be crazy. Man, listen, I'm excited to chef that bad boy up. And so if I get a deer this year too, baby, damn, if I get a deer this year too, I'm going to smoke some venison. Smoked venison sounds interesting. And so I've never had it smoked before, but look, I'm probably going to be smoking just about anything that I can get my hands on that bad boy. I can promise you that. Ramey is coming to the chat. You got to feel for James Cook. Brandon Beane, who is known for his early extensions, has not extended Cook. That's got to hurt him. So, look, so I have a sense of empathy for running backs because we all know how the league treats running backs, right? All they want to do is just leverage them for their first 4 years of their rookie deal. And if they're good enough, what they're going to do is slap the franchise tag on him. And then afterwards, they likely have no chance of ever signing a contract again, unless they are the Saquon Barkleys or the Derrick Henrys of the world that are still able to be wildly productive in their late 20s going into their early 30s. It's rare for a running back to be able to extend their career that long. So look, I get it, but unfortunately, it's the nature of the animal right now when it comes into running backs. Like that's largely what it all is. Right? And so the media likes to create its own narratives. Like, I'm not particularly buying that he's being a pain in the ass to the organization. He's probably just like, look, dude, like, look where I am, right? Like, I unfortunately am a running back in the NFL, and that particularly means that normally right after my rookie contract, y'all are just going to franchise tag me, and that's only if I actually do well enough. And then by the time my franchise tag runs out, I may never get paid again. Like, that's largely how running back contracts are nowadays. So that's why I haven't really been pounding the table and trying to demonize this guy for wanting some sort of money, right? Like, I mean, come on. It's just the nature of the beast. Does this mean a deal is close, or does Cook just know he has no choice but to play? I feel like we won't know, right? Like, we don't know. As far as making assumptions, I think that we can all agree at this point that it's one or the other. So meaning that we could be anticipating a tweet from Adam Schefter like later today saying that Buffalo has agreed to a contract somewhat similar to Kyron Williams, or maybe we hear nothing. And what it is that with the Buffalo Bills, they just said, look, man, unfortunately, like we're just going to go on ahead and we're going to play you this year right under your current contract. We won't franchise tag you next year and you'll be able to hit free agency. I think that potentially could do it. If Cook didn't want to stay in Buffalo, he wouldn't be fighting this hard to get paid because he knows damn well any team would pay him. I do feel like that's also a portion that we just don't focus too much on. You know what I mean? Dan, is any free agent still on the market that you think we should pick up for this team? None of them really stick out. And I think some of the big names that are still technically free agents, I think there's a reason why they're still free agents right now. And they're nothing but names at this point. So whether or not they're dealing with an injury recovery or maybe they're well over 30. Right now, I'm actually okay with where the team stands, barring some sort of significant injury. And so I've heard a couple of people suggest Simmons, and so the safety, but based off of what we heard from Sean McDermott this morning, it sounds like that the starting safety tandem, Cole Bishop and Taylor Rapp, are really the answer. And then maybe even Jordan Hancock has something to say about it as well, because he's been balling in practice and he's a player that I've really been wanting to discuss. But for some reason, the Buffalo Bills and the Giants games, all 22, has been super finicky right on the NFL Pro. So I can't really unpack Jordan Hancock as much as I would like to, but watch out for that player. Watch out for Jordan Hancock, man. I have a feeling, and this is going to be a very extremely hot take, but I think 3 years down the road, and maybe I'm off base for this, mark my words that the most impactful rookie to come out of this class 3 years down the road is going to be Jordan Hancock. That's how high I am on this player. And maybe I'll go even further, and this is such a limited sample size. I am way ahead of myself here. I think this draft class may end up being one of Brandon Beane's best as far as talent. Still early, obviously. Suppose with, I suppose anything could happen. But if you don't think that I'm going to be at least somewhat optimistic about this whole thing, then I think you're crazy. It's Hard Knocks. It's Hard Knocks still being filmed. It is indeed. They're still on the practice field, still doing their thing. Bills beat, man. All right, so we have a bunch of videos about James Cook. That makes sense. Let's get into some updates about what specifically happened during Brandon Beane's press conference. I do feel like we should at least be made aware of this. Shout out to Sal Capaccio for putting all of this together, and shout out to all the beat reporters in which that we will be reacting to all of this information. Practice today, as far as the injury report, it's still pretty lengthy, but I do think we are seeing some signs of improvement here. Not practicing today, Cedric Van Pran Granger. We have Max Harrison, although it is an encouraging sign we saw him without crutches during the preseason game. He is participating in a walkthrough today, which, again, is a good sign. We have Shakir is still out with his high ankle sprain. It sounds like Curtis Samuel is out, but he is close to making a return. Shaq Thompson, Tyler Bass, you have Tylen Grable and Alec Anderson. I'm not sure if Shaq Thompson suffered an injury during the game or whether or not that he's just on vet rest. I'm probably going to assume vet rest here. And limited Cole Bishop, Taylor Rapp, and Caden Prather. Specifically with Tyler Bass, who I feel like is a storyline a lot of us haven't really been paying attention to. He apparently is going to at least be on the field today. And it sounds like that he has been going through a significant amount of pain. And we don't know the extent of his injury. Many are assuming, since he's been out so long and he's being slow walked into the season, that this is a hell of a lot more serious than the Buffalo Bills are letting on to. So it's something to monitor, right? We brought in Caden Davis, so that rookie kicker from Ole Miss last year. He only had one field goal attempt for about 20-something yards last Saturday. So we don't know the extent of what he could be for this team if Tyler Bass is not healthy enough to go into week one. But I got to tell you, man, look, thankfully, Buffalo doesn't rely on their kicker too often because we have a very high-powered offense that normally ends drives in touchdowns, right? Like, we were the highest scoring offense in the NFL last year with playoffs included. Luckily, we score a lot of touchdowns over here. But if Tyler Bass is rushed back and he's not ready, like, that pain that he's experiencing is obviously going to be an issue when it comes into accuracy. And I don't think that Bills Mafia's blood pressure can really take that. Because I think we remember that period from the playoff loss where he went wide right, and then the case of the yips that he had going into half of the season last year. So we'll keep you updated on that, man. I think right now all we can do is just be optimistic. That he's going to be able to play once the season rolls around a little bit. We got Chuck in the building. Dan, why not sign Cook to a contract with incentives that get him to where he wants to get paid? That way it's up to him rather than he gets paid or not. So the thing is, Chuck, That's basically how his contract is this year, but it's already earned incentives, right? Like he's due $5 million this year if he plays a full season, which is technically 6 games. So I don't think that he wants incentives. I feel like he wants some sort of longevity or some sort of security, knowing that, hey, listen, I want a guaranteed amount of money that's like 25, 30 million bucks that gives me the peace of mind. So I can go out there and play right at the high level because so incentive based contracts for me, especially for a player that hasn't ever received a true big contract extension, I feel like you almost end up getting 70% of what that player could be because there's always going to be something that is in the back of their mind saying, oh my God, what if I get hurt? There is no way that I can hit these incentives if, for example, that I would get hurt. And subconsciously, I do think that it does affect players by maybe not taking as many risks, by maybe not running downhill and dropping the shoulder because they're afraid, hey, listen, I have to make this play, but say that I go down, that means I'm not getting anything, or I am not getting anywhere near to what my incentives could pay out. So I don't think that that's going to be something he would be taking seriously. I mean, I could be wrong, but I just have a gut feeling that he wouldn't want to take that. And do you think Frank Gore Jr. deserves some third and even second team reps? He's been doing well so far in all of the preseason appearances. So I'd be curious to see whether or not that Buffalo does give him the nod. Like normally his entire performances historically have just been with third string in preseason. So it just depends. Like he's small, folks. He's small. He's like 5'7", 5'8", or something like that. And while he's been pretty damn good with his limited opportunities, yeah, I don't know, man. Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Mafia. Love the Braves hat. Thank you, William. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Shout out to New Era for hooking me up with this awesome care package. They sent me over a bunch of really cool Bills hats, some Braves hats, man. Shout out to New Era Cap for hooking it up. Who usually does the kickoffs, punters, or kickers? If it's kickers and Bass can't go, would you risk Ray Davis doing a kickoff? And if he messes up and the Bills defense gets buried by it? So I feel like we're playing with fire right now when it comes into letting Ray Davis be somebody that is that much of a contributor right in the kicking and punting game, and same thing with kickoffs, because surprisingly enough, you will see injuries right in that capacity. So I think that if we give Ray Davis any more than we already are by being an absolute only a last resort type kicker, I feel like we're playing with fire. That's me. Beth is in the building. What's up, party people? Mafia, best fan base in the world. Dan, the Mafia man. What is good? I'm doing great. Right now. It's it's a good day. And so I feel like I can speak for most of Bills Mafia right now, especially since we're seeing James Cook lined up. He's practicing. He's doing his thing. And some more things that we need to discuss. Who impressed you the most out of all the rookies or players in the preseason game? So I got to tell you what, man, a lot of the rookies did. I would say, so the only player that I was not happy with was Landon Jackson, because number one, we didn't hear a single positive thing from him coming out of training camp. He messed up quite a bit during his reps, especially against second and third stringers. And for somebody that we drafted to hopefully be a day one impact type edge rusher, and the fact that he's struggling against second and third strings is not ideal. So I'm not giving up on him right now, but he's not particularly a good pass rusher. He wasn't in college, right? So I think that he needs to further develop right within his game. And I'm not saying that it's impossible, but he's nowhere near ready. He's nowhere near ready to be a player that's going to be a meaningful impact in year one. And so I'd love to be wrong. But I mean, yeah. But So as far as standouts, love TJ Sanders. He was a dog. Same thing with Deion Walker. He was a dog. Same thing with Jordan Hancock. He played pretty well. Same thing with Dorian Strong. He had his share of plays, which is ideal too. But that's kind of where we're at here. What do you want to see the most in Hard Knocks tonight? So I really just want to see behind the scenes of the James Cook conversations. I think that's the one thing everybody in this chat wants to see. What is his attitude surrounding this negotiation with his contracts? I feel like that's what I'm going to be paying attention to most. That's what I'm looking at. We have Adrian Weeks. Dan, what's your prediction on this Cook Circus ordeal? Do we pay or do without? It's tough, man. It's tough. So the thing is that we are seeing him practice right now. And fun fact, folks, it sounds like the media is not allowed to tweet during practice at all today. So it's still left to be seen if he's going to be participating in 7-on-7s and 11-on-11s. Again, this is only a walkthrough. Say that he ends up getting pads on. So I could see a world where like he's only doing these walkthroughs and he's not doing padded practice, which is probably tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know, dude. We will see. We have Adrian. Dan, what's your prediction on the Cook Circus? We already got that one. Big Daddy D is in the building. Dan, and did you see the video that says Bills fans are #1 in beers drank at a game? I would not expect anything less from this fan base, and I absolutely love it. Landon Jackson. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. We have No Bones is not a fan of Landon Jackson. And so I'm not going to say that he's a bust, right? Like, so I will say that he needs a hell of a lot more development than many people are assuming. Like you talk about Landon Jackson and people are just like, oh my God, he's going to be the next big thing. He's going to be Max Crosby, which is insane. And surprisingly enough, and so I did hear a lot of those takes after the draft. He just needs development. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like some players need to develop. Like we saw the same thing from Bernard, right? Like he was an absolute stud year 2. We saw the same thing from Benford, who really ended up taking that next jump. I'm just trying to taper expectations from people that assume that Landon Jackson is going to be like a day one meaningful contributor on this first year. That for me is not really where it's at. What would you love to see next preseason game? Is there anything you want the Bills to do or add to the next game? So I'm not going to be somebody that is wanting to see the unit perform in any particular way. I really don't want this playbook to be out in the open for really. So with these teams to find some sort of answer to what Buffalo is going to do schematically. What I am going to be paying attention to is all of the continuous individual performances. I would like to see TJ Sanders right up against the ones of the Chicago Bears because we ultimately ended up having a preseason game against one of the worst offensive lines in all of the NFL, right against the Giants. And now we're going up against arguably one of the best offensive lines, at least from the interior side of things. Show me more interior pressure. And one thing I did like from Buffalo last Saturday, which was not mentioned, was how good we were able to adjust to the run game, particularly up the gut and particularly right in the A gaps. Love to see that. So I'd probably say again, right? Like this is going to be a trend for me. I want to see these individual performances specifically on the defensive line. That is the most important thing that I continuously need to look for, and I will continue to do so. Hey, Dan, it seems like the Bills don't use Cook enough, and do you think the lack of touches and the offensive scheme is affecting what Buffalo will offer him? It's not so much that we don't want to use him for all 3 downs. It just sounds like that this team is somewhat skeptical in his ability to block. Hence why we typically have Ty Johnson or Ray Davis out there because they're just so a bit better, like right in that capacity. So with the Buffalo Bills, utilize a running back by committee model, and that's not something that I would like to change. Don't fix what's not broken. He's far more efficient on 1st and 2nd down. That's obviously me. He can't be a bust after one preseason game. Absolutely. Statement: most defensive linemen, especially those drafted in the later rounds, need more development, and they're no longer facing college players. They are playing grown men. Absolutely. Like, one take that drove me crazy for a long time was back in the day when the Cleveland Browns went 0-16. And that was back when Saban had that Alabama Crimson Tide program in college football, just completely going off, like being one of the most dominant college football programs in college football history. And people would typically say, like, oh my God, I think that Alabama would beat the 0-16 Cleveland Browns. No, no. No matter what college football program you look at any given moment, right? Maybe you have 6 to 7 players that get drafted by the NFL, maybe a couple of undrafted free agents. Out of those 7 to 8 players that get drafted, and that's only from the top programs in college ball, maybe 2 of them will become starters. And typically, you're only going to see maybe 1 or 2 become actual household stars in the NFL. So while college programs maybe have 7 to 8 players that can cut it in the NFL, that Cleveland Browns team that went 0-16 has 53 guys that can cut it in the NFL, right? So I've never really got that take that some specific college football team would be able to beat the worst NFL team. That's just not the case. And it's true, right? Like, you need to develop because your matchups, right? Like, your matchups right throughout college, some of those guys are not going to cut it in the NFL. Some of them don't get drafted. Some of them are never signed. Sometimes you'll have like a key matchup where that specific tackle gets drafted as well and he becomes a household name. But all of these players have never gone up week after week after week after week after a starting caliber like lineman rate. So within the NFL. So development's big. So development is actually very massive for this squad. And that's something I kind of can see. Honestly, Ty Johnson and Frank Gore really impressed me and was questioning if we ever needed James Cook. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We will continue to see what's going on. Yay, I managed to catch Dan live. Glad to hear about James Cook. There he is. There he is, folks. He's practicing as we speak. And the 0-16 Lions team would beat the best Bama team by at least 50. Yeah. I mean, you are absolutely correct. So I think Landon Jackson is Greg Rousseau's replacement when we have an out in Rousseau's contract in 2028. So Landon has 3 years to figure out his game and what he can contribute to this team. I'm not particularly sure Greg Rousseau, but I do think that he is an insurance policy because with Joey Bosa, he is only a 1-year rental. Like, not unless he does enough to where Buffalo is just like, oh my God, we actually want to extend this guy to something significant. I don't think that he will. He's more behind Bosa than Greg, in my opinion. But, I mean, hey, let's see. I still see Landon Jackson doing well. He was hurt. He's just coming off a minor injury. He was probably told to take it easy during the preseason game. Give the boy some time to get right. Hope you're right. Hope you're right. Dan, the MF man. How you doing, man? Hope all is well. Would love to hear Elijah Moore's name a couple of times this week. Shakir and Moore's elusiveness mixed with Keon's physicality would be great. So something that's encouraging for Moore was the fact that he was wide open on one specific rep and Mitchell Trubisky just didn't see it. He's creating separation out there, and I'm still patiently waiting for some all-22 to finally be released. For some reason, so the Bills and Giants game is still yet to release all of the all-22 footage. TUS and Mac Jones have a hard time beating the NFL teams now. No way that they could have done it in college. We have Josh Allen MVP. Frank Gore doing well against third and fourth strings makes you not know if we need Cook, who had back-to-back 1,000 yards and 5 yards per carry. Damn, look at that. We have Greg is actually pretty good. Yeah, dude, like he's solid. He's a solid end. So I wish that he would get to the quarterback a bit more as far as finishing the job and actually getting sacks, but like he's quality against the run. He does get pressure. I mean, hopefully this year we'll see some stuff. There's Mikey and Sean. Sean's in the building. That's my boy right there. We have Welsh Dragon. Where did Dan move to? Welsh. And so I moved into a house, my friend. Same town, but I just ended up getting a little bit more space, which is pretty cool. Right as you can see, we have the new office, which is pretty solid. We have my TV right up there. We have a whiteboard. Have like a little couch right there. I have a Bills flag. I have some more things I have to do right over here, but once the season's around, it's going to be in full swing. So pretty sick, man. Same town, just a house down the road, baby. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. Chuck is in the building. How about a 3-year, $30 million and $20 million guaranteed, similar to Henry's contract for Cook? So I think the baseline right now is going to be Jordan Hancock, right? Where he got $33 million for 3 years. He had $22 million guaranteed. So I feel like that's fair because both of them are literally identical when it comes into production. While Kyron Williams was used a hell of a lot more, like he was out there for 85% of the offensive snaps, where Cook was at about 45 to 50. But I feel like that's a pretty good baseline of where to start it all. Our third down problem stems from McDermott's philosophy. So I had to be talked off of a ledge yesterday during the Bills roundtable from my buddy Kevin from Zbot, where I feel like my PTSD from Buffalo struggling on third down really got to me, right? But I think it's still too soon to draw any sort of conclusion from the changes in scheme on defense. It has to be a well-oiled machine. And what Kevin said last night on the Bills Roundtable, which once again, folks, say, for example, that you want to tap in on the Bills Roundtable. It's a twice-a-week show, Mondays and Thursdays at 5 p.m. EST with me, Kevin, Zbot, and Bill's Bunker. They were basically discussing that what we saw from the Giants last Saturday was Brian Daboll literally calling a regular season offense, maybe because he just wanted to get some sort of praise from the New York media or something like that, where the Buffalo Bills were simply just focused on individual development all across the board. So the third down defense was a big issue last year. We couldn't get to the quarterback, maybe not so much coverage. Even like when it comes in to that touchdown pass right against Dane Jackson from Jackson Dart, and the coverage really wasn't that bad. No, I don't think that Dane Jackson is going to make this team. I do think he's going to get cut in favor of Dorian Strong, but his coverage really wasn't all that bad. Like, for the most part, I did think that coverage was actually pretty solid. Like what Buffalo does, we run zone, right, folks? Like we can't run a lot of man-to-man. Like we can't do a lot of press man coverage because quite frankly, we just don't have the speed. And so we don't have the speed. So mostly Buffalo's entire defensive identity is just being able to keep the football in front of them and hopefully rely on our hard hitters and being able to generate some sort of turnover. If, for example, that we can get to the quarterback, I have a feeling that our third down problems will completely evaporate because I do trust our coverage, at least from the starter side of things. I like Shavers and always cheering for him, but I don't know why people acting like he deserves a spot over Curtis, injuries or not. So I feel like every single season we're gonna get a camp sweetheart, right? It happens all the time. Was Christian Wade a few years back, and now it's Terrell Shavers, right? Like he is the camp sweetheart, or unless you're me and Sean, and like we're rooting for Goat Nell, right? For Stephen Goat Nell, perhaps. But I feel like Shavers really needs to make a statement, not only from the offensive side of things, but he's also going to have to make a statement. He's also going to have to make a statement right in special teams. Because when it comes into the sixth wide receiver, and that's if Buffalo rolls with 6. If they do roll with 6, you better be a good special teams contributor. Why I think, and this is just me, I could be wrong, why I think that Laviska Shenault ends up getting the nod over Shavers, right, is because he provides a bit more value to the team. He's clearly in the lead for the kick return position. Like, he was the highest graded kick returner on Saturday with Laviska Shenault. And he also was a red zone target. He converted, I think, a 2-point conversion. So I feel like collectively Shenault just brings more to the table. What can Shavers do? What can Shavers ultimately end up doing on special teams? That's the question. That's how he gets on this roster, is through special teams. If not, then maybe Buffalo needs to trade Curtis Samuel. We cannot release Curtis Samuel because the dead cap hit would be absolutely detrimental. So I feel like there is 2 ways for Shavers to potentially be on this starting 53-man roster. Number 1, he better be an absolute special team savant. Or number 2, he better hope that Curtis Samuel is traded. Like, that's basically how it plays out, because I got a feeling Shenault is going to be one of our wide receivers just based off of his special team contributions. Beth B, I don't know what we need the one Swed to get to the Super Bowl, but it would make life easier since our bye is earlier than I would like. Absolutely. Dan the Man, I am a little concerned about the wide receiver room and those standout number 1 and injuries. Not hearing much from more either. Love the show. Michael, what's going on, man? Thank you so much. I love that you tune in, my friend. I love that you tune in. Thank you so much for the support. So I always like to talk people off of the ledge when it comes in. So when it comes into the wide receiver room, because number 1, right? Like, we have all of our key contributors back from last year. The exact same offense that was able to be the highest scoring offense in all of the NFL with playoffs included, and the highest scoring offense in Buffalo Bills history. I'm not so much concerned about the true number 1. So I think we're in a very good position right now where we arguably have the best quarterback in the game. When you have such an elite presence, I don't feel like we really need to have a certified number 1 wide receiver. So many teams have proven that right across the history of the game. Several years with Tom Brady where, like, he had a bunch of like ragtag players like playing with him. Several years with Patrick Mahomes as well, where like he didn't have a certified number 1 and they just what they were was married to the fact that they want to spread the ball around, still have Josh Allen and his capability of making plays on the ground. And we had a great run game last year with the exact same offensive line. So I wouldn't worry about the wide receiver room just yet. Start worrying about the wide receiver room once we start to see Josh Allen regress a tad in his ability to make plays on the ground. Once Josh's rushing capabilities start to regress, then you could talk me into going out and taking that wide receiver number 1 role a bit more seriously. I don't want to go out and trade for a wide receiver number 1 and pay him some ungodly contract, because we see that all over the league. Sure. So the Cincinnati Bengals have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, right? Those 3 players account for close to about 50 to 60% of their overall cap. And they have one of the worst offensive line units in all of the NFL. In fact, I do want to say that it's ranked second last in. And they also have so many holes right on their defense, specifically within their secondary. That's not on purpose. That's just because they have all of those funds tied into just the wide receiver room. So when some people are like, oh my God, I wish that we had a wide receiver number 1, just think about how blessed that we are for having the top 3 offensive line unit right within the league. And then exact same thing with a lot of our defensive players out there too. So that's sort of how I look at the entire situation. We have Ed is in the building. Hey, Dan, Greer, South Carolina. I love this channel and tune in every day. I heard that you have a Traeger now. If you ever need any seasonings for cooking, let me know. I own the Crooked Boar Barbecue. Go Bills. Dude, I would love seasonings, man. I would love seasonings. I actually doused my burgers with this one. It's called Kinder's Buttery Garlic Herb. Was so good. And I love extending my palate, especially when it comes into barbecue. And so I'm going to have to look you up, man. Shoot me over a DM on Twitter/IG, and I would love to try some of your seasonings, my friend. I wonder if I can hear the stadium from the new place when it's bumping. I am less than 5 miles away now. I'm sure you could. I'm sure you could. You're going to have to let me know. I don't get why Kev was going so hard on Dane last night. That play he got beat on was a good coverage as you can get. It's one of the best things about the Bills Roundtable, baby. We got 4 different perspectives Mondays and Thursdays. Sean tunes in. Hey, man, we got to make it happen. Nick Wright is scared this year of Allen. You could hear it in his voice. This is great, but we can all say it's Allen's time. I totally get it. Curtis Samuel needs to be traded ASAP. He's being paid money that can go towards getting Cook deal going. Even AJ Epinesa is on the hot seat to me. Here's the thing when it comes into trades, right? We have to be able to convince another team that he has some sort of value. What team is going to want to send over and take on that contract? I'm not so much concerned about compensation. Say we get like a 6th round pick. And so I think that that's, that's a win. But I don't know. Would somebody end up making a trade for Curtis? We're going to have to see. We are going to have to see, man. Blair is in the building. I am a little worried because being the best offense Buffalo ever put out on the field, it just seems it's going to be tough to run it back. Not impossible, but tough. Pray no injuries. So one thing that's wildly encouraging about this team is like when I tell you that we have one of the easiest schedules in all of the NFL this year, we really do. Say, for example, we beat Baltimore, then I am convinced that we will not lose another game, maybe leading up to the Philadelphia game on the second to last game of the year. And some of you would be like, oh my God, Dan, we have a lot of tough opponents. Last year, we ended up going undefeated at home. It is a real advantage. So, yeah, dude, it's where it's at right now. Wested is in the building saying Kelsey is washed. Say that at your own peril statement. But Dan, since Samuel is always hurt, so we could put him on IR, which gives a spot for Shavers. That also could be an opportunity. It could be. Oh, Dan, all of the Kinder seasonings are legit, and the Thai barbecue is, oh my God, I'm going to have to check it out. Hey, listen, man, I had no idea that I had so many like-minded individuals with a smoker. Dude, listen, I've been all about smoking shit, and this morning with my eggs and bacon, I did put the bacon on the Traeger this morning. My God, bacon on a Traeger, whoo, boy, man, holy hell. And so I got to stop with all these free plugs, man. A 6th rounder for the Bills is larger win than a first. Look at that. And the problem with trading Samuel is that it does take 2. And what value does Samuel give right now? He's always hurt, and last season didn't show much on film. Yeah, and his contract is pretty significant too, right? Like, what's his cap hit this year? So a team would basically need to take on this cap hit. Let me see. Curtis Samuel. Let me see. Contract. I'm just curious to see what it would all look like. All right. So his cap hit this year is like $9 million. So yes, like maybe there are going to be a couple of teams that need a wide receiver like Curtis Samuel, but like, would they trade for him? You know, like, would they trade for him and maybe take that on? So we'd save about like $7.3 million. Like that basically would go against their cap, and we would have $1 to $3 million in cap right before that. And say, for example, that he was released, we would have $8.6 million in dead cap and 3.4 in 2026, and only save $430,000. So trading Curtis Samuel is quite literally the only option that we have. But again, first off, who is going to be interested in Curtis Samuel with this cap hit right here? I think that's the question. So I think that that's the question we all need to hear. Like 6.9 right at the bare minimum. So it's going to be tough. Like, look, and so I really like what Shavers has been bringing to the table. Let's see what happens, man. We have James Cook is back at practice, folks. All right, let's see, Mikey. Is LaVisca really more important when he's just sniffing number 2 KRPR on the depth chart? So I'd say based off of the last preseason game, I would probably say that he's number 1 right now. He was by far the most effective And granted, it's still a tight race, but like he brings a lot to the table, right? Like he did end up catching that 2-point conversion on Saturday, which really ends up helping out his case. In my opinion, so I feel like Chenault is a much better wide receiver than Brandon Codrington is a corner. And that's really where I see this punt return role going. Maybe KJ Hamler, maybe I would be shocked, but it's between Chenault and Codrington. And Chenault did end up making some pretty significant plays right in the red zone for us. He's got the size. He's not going to be somebody that, so I'd trust to be out on the offense more than 20 to 30% of the snaps, are really something that's right outside of situational. But Shaver's path is going to be very difficult. It's going to be very difficult. But I'll tell you what, I am rooting for the guy. Hey, Dan, speaking of smokers, Marcus Dash is straight bullying the AFC West roundtable with facts. I love that. Dude, I love that. I am so happy to hear. That Samuel contract is ready to go. That's what I'm talking about. It's nice to see Cook back, begging this is the end of the drama. It is getting very boring to hear about every day. I know, bro. I know, man. You have no idea. Tuning in from Helena, Montana. I love Montana. Man, dude, so many of my audience members are from Montana, dude. Stop rubbing it in, folks. Trade Samuel to our little brothers and to the Giants, and they like stealing our players anyway. That's funny. Maybe you could see Samuel traded around the deadline if a team has a lot of injuries at the wide receiver, for sure. Salt Lake City is in the house. Andrew, what's going on, my friend? I don't know, Samuel. When he can stay healthy, really does make an impact. If we truly rotate our wide receivers like I think we will, Samuel will be able to see opportunities. Love to hear that. Good rebuttal. Thank you. Try a smoked baked potato. It's life-changing. A smoked baked potato? Good God. That does sound good. Somebody told me right in my my mentions on X, and they said, be careful. Not everything needs to be smoked. Maybe it doesn't. I mean, maybe it doesn't, dude. All right. Let Cook walk and sign Hall next year. Hey, Dan, if you need some wine with your smoker meals, I own Water Edge Winery. Can hook you up. And we also make Josh Allen hard lemonade. Interesting, man. Send me a DM right over on Instagram. And so I would be interested, and I'd go on ahead and I'd give you guys a shout out on one of my videos, which would be great. Let me see. I think we will get better production from Samuel if Palmer, Moore, and Coleman step up. I think we will get better production from Samuel if Palmer, Moore, and Coleman step up. We're going to have to see. Never heard of a smoked potato. I'm going to try it. Like, there's so many things. Like, bacon could potentially be that, like a baked potato. But bacon is insane. Same thing with a brisket. And as soon as when I get my first deer this season, I'm definitely going to be doing some venison. And so I'm a big hunter. So I'm really excited about that. So I'm supposed to be going, hopefully we'll be able to go on ahead and go hog hunting a bit later. I'm talking about damn real man hog hunting too, man. So like there's so many things that I kind of want to incorporate right into my stuff, and we'll see. Smoked deer heart. You can thank me later. Thank you, brother. Question. Did you see the Josh Allen Snickers commercial? No, I have not. Let me see. Let's see what we got. Still thinking about how Josh Allen ruined your fantasy team? I like that. Look at that, man. Shout out JA. Folks, if you were just coming in, the big news today is that we have indeed an update on James Cook. He is back. He's practicing. He's doing his thing. Guys, 435 of you are currently watching right now. 237 of you are on YouTube. Do me a favor, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't had an opportunity of doing so already. And let me know where you're tuning in from. Roll call time in the chat. Where is everybody tuning in from? I'm very curious to see. And you know what? I feel like it's time for me to open up the Garage Beer Hotline. Folks, if, for example, that you would like to call in, please feel free to do so. All right? I offer this to each and every single one of my fans that tune in on a regular basis. Feel free to come in, get whatever is off your chest, whether or not that it's a statement / a question. I try to structure it like a radio show where each and every single one of you can just pop on for 20, 30 seconds, say what you have to say, and lock it in. Keep roll calling in the chat. I need to go take a piss real fast, and then I will be back and let some people in. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Central Pennsylvania is in the building. Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, Halifax, Nova Scotia, Charlotte, New York, Niagara Falls, go Bills. Heart of South Buffalo, no trolling, is in the building. Guadalajara, Mexico is in the building. Detroit, Buffalo native, Mr. ATF not. Let's get it going. All right, folks. We're going to go on ahead and we're going to drop the line right in the Garage Beer Hotline, folks. Beer, taste, and beer. Say, for example, that you guys have not tried Garage Beer. I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. Show a little bit of love, guys. The Garage Beer Hotline is now open. There you go. There you go. Cook is average. Matthew is coming on in. He's saying it all. How did you become a Bills fan? So I was born in Buffalo, born in South Buffalo. And then when I was about 12, 13 years old, my dad decided that he didn't want to shovel driveways anymore. So he moved me down to the South. South Carolina, I spent a lot of my time down there. And then I now currently live in Florida, which is ideal. San Antonio, go Bills. Filthy Dollar Bills is in the chat. Allen is average. Six Rings is in the building, man. What's going on? How you doing?
I'm good, yeah. Got a day off. You know, it's hard to call in from the hospital, you know, with patients and everything running around.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So I can't really, I try to, but yeah. So I see in the States two things. You guys pay a lot for your NFL games. It's crazy how they do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I
So
saw
for
this thing
tickets
in
is what you're
Canada.
talking about, or streaming services?
Yeah. Yeah, in general, to watch all the games.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
in
it's pricey.
Canada, we have something DAZN, and you get all the games for like $30.
That right?
Yeah, so I don't know if it works for you guys internationally though from the States. Because you can get all the Bills games for $30.
So how reliable is that though? So
It's
that's the
pretty.
question.
No, it's pretty good. I mean, you have to judge.
So what is it called?
DAZN.
Oh,
It's a
Dazen.
stream.
Got it.
DAZN.
So that is only available for people outside of the continental United States, unfortunately.
Right. So
From
you
what I
guys are paying
understand,
a
it's only
that's
Canada and then Europe, I believe, that
oh
so that's available. So the US, man, we are cornered by the monopoly.
that's insane though to your fans. What if someone wants to watch all the Bills games and they're paying hundreds of dollars, which is insane.
Dude. So it's close to 1,000. So to be
That's
honest with you, with
insane.
everything, it's like, so I pay 75 a month, I want to say, for just YouTube TV. And then with the package, I think it's like 30, 40 a month for the NFL Sunday ticket. And then with all those random things on Peacock, on Prime, yeah, nah, dude, it's pricey as hell. But like, thankfully for me, it's a write-off though, which is ideal, right?
Yeah.
Especially since, but I certainly have
But
a
for the
huge sense
average
of
fan,
empathy with these guys.
yeah. And two, I think you guys should pay your running back. Like, if you watch some of our Patriots history, we've won Super Bowls off the running back, just running in from the 5-yard line. Guys like Sony Michel and James White, they won us Super Bowls. And Rex, he beat the Chiefs. He just ran in. Actually, our running back has our second most touchdowns in our franchise record, LeGarrette, and he had 18. So I do feel Cook is an asset. Like, I like him a lot. He's probably one of my favorite players in the league.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So here's the thing, right? It's not the same thing of how with any other. So with so how the league looks at running backs. It's not something that Buffalo is just exclusive to, right? So it's just how the league looks at running backs. Like 9 times out of 10, what they want to do is just use these guys up for the first 4 years and then say that they perform well. What they're going to want to do is just give them like a 5th-year option or something along those lines, right? So a 5th-year option or a franchise tag, and then just let them hit free agency after the fact. It sucks, but it's just kind of how the league is.
But I like them. They're in an important position. Well, for the Patriots, we've won Super Bowls, in conference games, just having running backs run down the field.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of that, our rookie Henderson, did you see his 100-yard return? I know it's preseason, but it's something to get excited for.
No, yeah, man. Listen, I'm super high on Henderson. I think that he's going to have a hell of a season.
Will Campbell, he looked pretty good. He was just bullying Washington. There's one clip where I don't know if you've seen, he just pushing him. Literally 10, 15 yards and just throws him down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I know it's preseason, but it's exciting to see what players you have and what they can do.
Yeah. Oh. No, man, I'm super excited to see what the Patriots are going to do, especially when it comes into the new era of Vrabel. But hey, man, listen, I appreciate the call, so I'm going to get you another caller.
All right, yeah.
Peace. Shout out to my guy right there, 6 Rings. He's doing his thing. He's doing his thing over there, man. He's locking in. Dazen is pronounced DAZN. Sorry about that. Yeah, most definitely. Trust me. If, for example, we had an option of paying $30 for all the NFL games, I think that we'd be able to do it. We got Billy McDougal. You don't need YouTube TV for Sunday ticket. Well, then looks like I've been paying way too much money. It's a lot. We have Chiefs Geek Barbarian in the building. What's going on, man? How you doing? We have the Chiefs Geek Barbarian. What's up, man?
Hey, is this mic on?
Who?
Is this mic on?
Oh, yeah, man. Loud and clear. How you doing?
Yeah, what's up, nigga? I've been meaning to holler at you, bro. You've been getting on here with all these false narratives, bro. What's up with that, bro?
Why? What are you talking about, man? What are the false narratives?
Look, you know what I'm talking about, bro. Quit hopping on here saying that bullshit, talking about that stupid-ass dude, Josh Allen, had a better season than Mahomes last year, bro. Come on, bro. Quit that, bro. Let me ask you a question, though. So what's your parameter or whatever for Josh Allen had a better season than Mahomes last year?
So when it comes into it, so I feel like a lot of people think that by me saying that Josh had a better season, then that means I think Mahomes is trash. He's not. But I do think, so when it comes into it, like how Mahomes is utilized in Kansas City, and it's not a bad thing because that's how you win championships. They just don't ask for him to do what he's typically done in years past. Like, I know that Mahomes can get it done. But as far as like what Buffalo asked Josh Allen to do last year with a bunch of Madden generated players
Right
as
there,
wide
I was waiting
receivers,
just for you to say that. You see what I'm saying? That's that bullshit y'all going with, bro. Josh Allen had a way better fucking roster than Mahomes last year, bro. Stop with that. Come on. He had Amari Cooper. He had the dude Shakir. He had Keon Coleman, Dalvin Cook, bro. Your O line was godly, bro. The Bills O line was godly. Mahomes O line was deteriorated. Wide receivers hurt. No coach, the offensive coordinator calling shitty plays. Let me see, running back out the first 2 weeks. Hollywood, bro, stop. Mahomes is working with less than all four of the big four, bro. Let's stop this nonsense. And then I just wanted to let y'all know this. All y'all sitting here talking about Josh Allen did whoop-de-woo. Mahomes threw for more yards than Josh Allen last year. Mahomes had more yards than Josh Allen last year, and Josh Allen won MVP. So how has he had a better season? Y'all love throwing up these fugazi-ass empty calorie numbers and shit. But Mahomes won 15 games, lost one game, had more yards than Josh Allen. Lamar Jackson didn't even win. Joe Burrow, like, come on, bro. And Jalen Hurts, that fluky ass Super Bowl, that shit was a bro. Come on, cuz. Y'all need to stop with this bullshit. Y'all know what's finna happen. The Chiefs finna go undefeated. And that's all I gotta say, nigga. I'm out.
Wait. Who is your top 5 quarterbacks, though? I'm curious. So where do you have Josh Allen in your top 5? Like, just curious.
Josh Allen is number 2, without a doubt.
Okay.
There's nobody better than Mahomes and Josh Allen, bro. Mahomes and Josh Allen is the 2 best quarterbacks we probably ever seen. Like, come on with this bullshit. That nigga Josh Allen cold. That's the only nigga we be worried about is Josh Allen. We not worried about nobody else. No Joe Burrow, no Lamar Jackson, none of that shit. We not worried about them. The only nigga we be tripping off of is Josh Allen because that nigga cold. That nigga cold on my mama. He cold.
So I have this theory that like so with the both of our teams, we switch off in the regular season and in the playoffs. I'm kind of hoping y'all beat us in like right in the regular season this year, so it's our turn to win in the playoffs. Like, just give us one, bro. Like, just give us one, dude, please. Just give us one, man.
Man, look, I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why right here. Mahomes, with what we working with now with this receiving core, bro, I just can't see that logically happening because Rashid Rice is worthy, bro. Like, I just can't see y'all beating us this year. And y'all got to get rid of McDermott, bro. Y'all got to get rid of McDermott. Cause it's the culture, bro. Cause y'all just gonna keep Andy Reid bag is just too deep, bro, for him. I'm sorry, it's just too deep. I'm sorry, bro. His bag is just. McDermott is like years behind Andy Reid, bro. I'm sorry, it's just not gonna be. He can't catch up. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of this, motherfuckers want to keep throwing Joe Burrow, and y'all need to be worrying about the new young niggas coming in because they looking better than Joe Burrow. And like Bo Nix, he look better than Joe Burrow, bro. Let me see who else. Jordan Love. Y'all need to be talking about Jordan Love. Jordan Love coming.
Yeah.
Jordan Love coming. Y'all talking about all these, bro. All right. But look, I'm gonna put it like this: the only dude, the Chiefs, the only team we worried about in the AFC is Josh Allen, bro. That dude is 1A, 1B to Mahomes. I ain't gonna fake. He cold. He the truth. Josh Allen the truth.
And so I love to hear that, man. Listen, bro, feel free to call in at any time.
Just quit all that slick talking on Mahomes, bro. Like, quit all that shit. I'm tired of seeing this shit. Y'all trying to dimmy down the Chiefs aura, that new slang talk aura y'all be on. Ain't none of that, bro. Y'all know what's up, nigga. All y'all white boys in the chat. Y'all niggas know what's up, nigga. Mahomes coming, nigga. Fuck talking about, nigga.
All right, man. Shout out to my boy. Shout out to my boy for coming on in, letting us know the rivalry between the Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs are indeed here. If McDermott would just learn corn dog, he would win the Super Bowl. I'm not sure what that means. We have Mr. ATF not Dan. And did you know Buffalo has a Chiefs fan bar? I did see that, surprisingly enough. Let me see what we got here. Damn, Mr. Carreras is in the building. What's that guy Burrow beating Mahomes? But like, here's the deal. Like, wins really aren't much of a rate of a QB stat. Nathan Knox in the building. All right, folks. Say as you're just joining, we have the Garage Beer Hotline locked in right now in case any of you are interested in hopping in, showing a little bit of love. Feel free to let me know your thoughts. Also, what I don't like about that, okay. Corn Dog is a play that Andy Reid runs in multiple playoff games and won them a Super Bowl, LOL. I can drop a link if you would like. Great caller, to be honest. That was wild. Hey, man, listen, I let everyone call into the show, man. Whatever is on your mind, we are going to be talking about. Richie Fresh, working, so I can't touch a ton. Andy Reid is a top 3 all-time coach. He is up there with Bill Belichick. Man, guys. All right, let's see. Let's see if there's any updates right now. Like, maybe I could imagine that James Cook could potentially be hitting the podium at some point. Sean McDermott on Damar Hamlin on Tuesday. Let's not forget Damar played extensively for us last year, so we have a lot of confidence in him. I said it last week. There is more than a realistic chance that Hamlin is team's #1 starter. We're excited to announce the extension of our 28-year partnership with Pepsi. Interesting. Jonathan is in the building. Bill's in the building. Let's see. Guys, 177 of you right in the chat right now, 181 of you. Do me a favor, smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't had an opportunity of doing so already. Lock in, baby. Lock in. Let's see. We have Summer is coming in. I've been to the Chiefs bar. It wasn't bad. Don't hate me. Summer, how dare you? How dare you? We already know what that's all about. But all right, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of the Don Mafia Report. I will be live a bit later for 4th and Forever. It's going to be me, TD. It's going to be, I think, Colby today because Richie is currently at Jets camp. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't had an opportunity of doing so already. And I will see you a bit later. Peace.